We're going to take a closer look at converting shapes into form. And before we start talking about this in the context of a character's body, I thought I'd pull back a little bit and do a little exercise to show you what I mean. So in this particular case, we've got shapes, right? These shapes are all flat. There's no form to them. They're fairly generic. And what we want to do is we want to be able to go back in and we want to give them some form. So how do we do that? Let's take a look at this first example here. Well, this is a flat shape, but if I were to draw a contour, that infers form. So in this case, we can kind of assume this to be like a cylindrical form, and then we can make connections. So what I've done is I've taken that flat shape and given it some definition. It actually has some dimensionality. Why? Because I've given it contours that suggest the shape of the object, right? So let's do another example over here. So we've got this weird shape. And this is a really fun exercise just to practice with. I just made the shapes using the lasso tool. And let's just convert this. I'm using the edges to go ahead and define the form, and what we can do here is we can draw a dotted line to kind of indicate the three-dimensionality of the form, right? It's got a front face, it's got a side face, it's got a top face. Now what about this one? This one looks fairly flat. Well, I can draw a line somewhere in the middle and draw a curve, right? And I'll put some dotted lines so you can see the actual form. And then I can connect the outer edge to the other side too. So now this has a structural form where it has a top ridge, and it's got some dimension to it. What about this one right here? We can draw a contour line. We can draw it in a vertical way, or we can draw it in a horizontal way. How do I choose? Really depends upon what I feel like. So if I draw this line, and this line basically is an approximation of the lines that are on the edges, right? I'm following that contour. And I've got the top cap here. The big thing is I'm drawing these dotted lines to help me visualize the form that is hidden within the shape. And if you understand that and can apply it, I think that the world's your oyster. You can really come up with some really cool stuff. Let's do another one over here, and I'll just rotate this and I'll just draw a curve. This curve is similar to the cap curve that we have here. So what this allows us to do is it allows us to get some very interesting complex forms. I say complex forms because these forms are not your spheres or your cylinders. These are kind of weird shaped objects, like this one right here. If I draw a line that kind of mimics the bottom edge here, I now have a form. I've taken a shape and converted it into a form. So that could be a really good exercise to create some shapes. You can use the freeform lasso tool, and here's what I did. Just basically just make an enclosed shape, fill it in with a color, and then simply draw a contour. So in this particular case, I can define the cap, and I can draw a contour, and then connect the edges. And I got something that looks kind of like a bowling ball or a bowling pin of some type. Some kind of a vessel, right? Same thing over here. Right, so this is a great way to get outside of your comfort zone and to draw things that have very complex shapes. Let's just do one more to reinforce this. So this is a really weird shape. How do we want to approach it? Well, we have an end cap over here, so let's draw that, and let's just have that end cap also surface on this other side. You can connect the two, and then draw a sweeping curve. And I'll just kind of divide this into two parts. And then if we wanted to draw the contours, here's my dotted line. So it's kind of a weird shape, but it's got some form. So I hope you found this video to be useful. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Have you tried this technique before? If so, what have your results been? I'm very curious to know how effective these lessons are, and I could definitely use your feedback. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.